So let's jump in and get started because we have a lot of good information waiting for you and some incredible experts who are going to help you maybe tighten up some of that not sure feeling and get a little bit more confident about those decisions, the solutions, and make sure that you are getting the preparedness planning that you need early on. So we're going to jump into our MegaCast here, and I am so excited to introduce you all to our very first presenters. As you can see from the screen, we are kicking things off on a great note. We have this incredible partnership here and a couple of experts that are going to walk us through some really exciting information coming out of Tierpoint and from Zerto, an HPE company. We are going to be chatting today with Bob Brown, Lead Solutions Engineer, and Mike Nassis, Product Marketing Manager at Zerto. And then later we're going to be joined by Anthony Dutra, also from Zerto, and a familiar face here. So many of you know Anthony Dutra, and we'll have him join us a little bit later for some Q&A. So we've got lots coming. Bob and Mike, it is great to see you both here on the MegaCast. I know that you have a lot of great stuff lined up for us. Anthony's waiting in the wings. We got a whole awesome crew. So I'm going to step back. I'm going to hand things on over to you. Take it away, Mike.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mike Nassis. I'm a product marketing manager with Zerto, and today I'm also joined by my colleague Bob Brown, who is a senior solutions engineer with Tierpoint. And together, for the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to be covering how you can drastically reduce your RPOs and RTOs for seamless data recovery within your organization. So let's get started. So part of the reason I'm very excited to talk with you today is because of what we do at Zerto to help organizations just like yours to protect, recover, and move data and applications for continuous availability across on-premise, hybrid, and multi-cloud environments. So a little bit about us before we get started. We have been building a global business for the last 15 years with over 2,000 partners, including great managed service providers like Tierpoint and almost 10,000 customers spanning over 100 countries. The reason we have been so successful in this industry is because we listen to our customers, and more specifically, we listen to their main concerns. And lately, most, if not all, of our customers across all industries share three main concerns that have been top of mind for them. The first is the continued threat of ransomware, which really has become a C-level priority for all organizations that we speak with. So you know as well as I do that this is no longer a niche threat. It's really part of the larger picture related to disruptions. And to succeed as a digital business in today's day and age, there's really no tolerance for downtime of any kind, whether it's a natural disaster or through human error. We have seen staggering statistics like only about half of organizations can actually recover from a severe data loss within 12 hours. So we think that is completely unacceptable, and you'll see in the coming slides how we tackle that. And of course, lastly, the acceleration of cloud adoption, whether it's a hybrid strategy or multi-cloud, has really introduced new complexities for IT, especially since COVID. We've seen over 90% of organizations have actually altered their cloud strategy since the pandemic. Now, one of the first questions or main questions I should say, that we always get is Zerto a backup solution? Well, we're a little different. So when you think of a traditional daily backup, right? If something were to happen, you could hit it with a ransomware attack, a natural disaster, or human error, or anything of the sort. You're really looking at RPOs of probably 24 hours and RTOs of several hours. And of course, that impact really starts to add up, especially when the average cost of downtime can run you $250,000 per hour. If you're down for 8 hours, you know, that's a lot of money. So typically we then see the next level is storage replication. With that, the RPOs and RTOs diminish significantly, but you're still looking at hours of downtime and data loss and a huge business impact. With Zerto, we actually can get your RPOs down to seconds and your RTOs down to minutes, mitigating that downtime and business impact drastically. And These single-digit RPOs have real-world applications, and it's not just a theoretical exercise, because taking your RPO down to seconds can save an enormous amount of money no matter what industry you're in. So in particular, we are laser focused on 3 key use cases across all the platforms that you use. Disaster recovery is the first one. We're focused on this to be able to radically reduce, again, those RPOs and RTOs, no matter what comes your way. Secondly, with ransomware resilience, we have things like real-time encryption detection, which alerts you when there's an anomaly so you can mitigate a ransomware attack right at the point of impact. And the third use case, multi-cloud mobility, really provides that freedom to move and protect across your cloud infrastructure. And of course, all of this is based on a foundation of continuous data protection, which is a space that we have pioneered and been a market leader in for almost 15 years now. And of course, we partner with some of the best technology companies in the industry, as well as managed service providers like Tierpoint, which you'll learn a little bit more about in a minute. Now, I mentioned continuous data protection in the previous slide. So this is made possible with what's called Zerto's block level replication. So this is near synchronous replication. So you're getting the best of both worlds, right? So it's the best of both synchronous and asynchronous approaches. And because we sit at the hypervisor level, we can be a fully software-only solution that is totally independent of the underlying hardware and infrastructure, including your storage. So that's part of why Zerto works so well across hypervisors, clouds, and platforms. You really have the choice to do what's best for your business while allowing Zerto to effortlessly work in the background without impacting production. Now, the secret sauce, so to speak, of what makes our continuous data protection with Zerto so powerful is really lies with our unique journaling capabilities. So just being able to capture a write or an IO doesn't necessarily mean you have true continuous data protection. It has to be paired with a dynamic, hyper-efficient journal. Our journal tracks every single change made in your application or on your server, and it logs these as checkpoints every 5 to 10 seconds. So even when you have hundreds or thousands of servers, it's doing this. Now, this journal can store the change data for 1 hour up to 30 days, and it offers this an unparalleled granularity when it comes to recovery. So whenever needed, you can simply rewind to an old checkpoint, and if ransomware hits at, let's say, 10 a.m., you can actually roll back to 9:59 and 55 seconds and completely mitigate that infection. Now, when we talk about continuous data protection, we have to keep a focus on the applications themselves and not think about individual servers in isolation. Modern applications are generally comprised of multiple VMs or containerized pods that are all interdependent, right? With legacy data protection, this makes life harder for IT teams by offering restore points from very inconsistent points in time, which extends RTO and just complicates recovery. Zerto, on the other hand, really solves for the challenge of recovering these complex apps by protecting your workloads as a single cohesive logical entity. That way, you avoid the inconsistent recovery and avoid each VM being restored to a different point in time. So this actually allows you to protect and recover together as one unit to the exact same point in time, and saves a ton of resources when you're trying to reduce the amount of time dedicated to recovery. And of course, before I hand it over to Bob, I would be remiss if I didn't show a few customer examples of Zerto in action. We have Fortune 500 companies, we have top airlines like United Airlines using Zerto to protect thousands of VMs, and despite them needing to protect this many VMs, we still are able to deliver RPOs in the seconds, as you can see here on the slide. So we really are the gold standard with disaster recovery, and if we're able to deliver 6, 7, 8 seconds of RPOs across 5, 6, 7,000 VMs, just think of what we can do for your organization. Really, before I hand it over to Bob, just wanted to reiterate real quick, if for any of those of you who missed this, Zerto is a software-only hypervisor-based replication solution. We deliver drastically reduced RPOs and RTOs, allowing you to quickly restore your operations within minutes and rewind seconds before a disruption. And one thing I was not able to touch on, but I'd like to mention it quickly, is we have best-in-class orchestrated failover, failback, and non-disruptive testing that allows you to simply and easily recover files, VMs, as well as multi-VM app stacks. So with that, I thank you for your time today, and I will pass it over to Bob at Tierpoint.
Hey, thanks, Michael. That was a lot of great information. I hope everyone listening is having a great day and appreciate you taking the time to join us today. My name is Bob Brown. I'm a lead solutions engineer with Tierpoint with a focus on disaster recovery and backup services. Tierpoint and Zerto have had a long-standing relationship working together. We utilize Zerto as our primary solution for our disaster recovery customers. Before we get into the Tierpoint solutions, I want to take a few minutes to give a brief overview of Tierpoint for those of you who might not be familiar with us. Tierpoint operates 41 data centers across the United States that are all interconnected with fiber, offering speeds of up to 100 gigabits per second. All of our data centers can also provide connectivity to your hyperscale cloud providers with a very low latency. With the geographic redundancy of our data centers, we can provide a recovery solution that meets your auditor's requirements. It's going to be located outside of any natural or weather event that might affect your production site, and provide a DR site that's going to be on a separate power grid from your primary location. So beyond our co-location data center services, Tierpoint also provides a wide variety of services to our clients to help them meet their IT and business requirements. Tierpoint offers customized cloud solutions using our multi-tenant cloud, which is available in 8 of our data centers across the United States. We also have a host of private cloud solutions that are going to be built on dedicated hardware to customer-specific requirements, and those can be put in any of our data centers. And we also have public cloud services that we can offer within AWS and Azure. For customers that are running IBM power systems and mainframes, we offer solutions for both production and disaster recovery services on these platforms. We have a full suite of security services that can be wrapped around any of our managed solutions. And Tierpoint also provides consulting and professional services to our customers across the full portfolio of our solutions, including assistance with business impact analysis to assist our customers with their disaster recovery planning. Whether you're looking to deploy a new disaster recovery solution or enhance the solution that you might currently have, choosing the right partner is going to be a key decision. Tierpoint and Zerto have a long-standing partnership on providing industry-leading solutions, helping customers increase their resiliency. Tierpoint was Zerto's Growth Partner of the Year in 2020 and has been their Managed Services Partner of the Year for the past 3 years. So why would you want to pick Tierpoint to help with your disaster recovery services? Well, we have teams of trained professionals to support you in the event of a disaster. With years of experience in recovery and testing our customers' environments, you can be assured that your recovery needs are going to be in good hands. As one of the leading disaster recovery providers, our teams have experience to provide you a seamless implementation process and ensure that all the critical business needs are being met. Tierpoint offers multiple solutions for your cloud-based recovery based upon the size and compliance requirements of your business. These will include all OpEx-based solutions to minimize the capital outlay in building a disaster recovery solution. Earlier in the presentation, Michael went through how Zerto works with you to provide an extremely low RTO and RPO for the customers. I'm going to talk through how Tierpoint utilizes Zerto to provide our customers a solution that they can be sure will work for them in the event of a disaster. Minimizing downtime is a common theme among all of our customers. They can't rely on the extended downtime that it takes to recover from traditional backups. Customers are looking for a solution that provides a low RTO and RTA. Now, Michael touched on RTO and RTA earlier, and most customers are familiar with the term RTO or recovery time objective. But where we should really be focused on is RTA, or recovery time achievable, or recovery time actual. The difference here is that RTO is the goal that the business has set to be back up, and RTA is the actual time that it will take to get the environment back up. Tierpoint solutions allow customers to have a solution that will meet the actual requirements of the business and ensure that the environment will be back up and operating in the defined time frame. As you can see on the slide, all of our solutions will be built on enterprise class hardware. The disaster recovery targets can be one of Tierpoint's multi-tenant cloud pods that are located in 8 data centers across the United States, a hosted private cloud solution, or we can utilize a public cloud target in Azure or AWS. We're going to work with you to help determine which of these will be the best fit for your particular environment. We provide an industry-leading SLA-backed recovery time of getting 10 VMs recovered every 15 minutes. This SLA ensures that your environment will be back up and operational and allows you to have the RTA that you're really looking for. The service is a subscription-based and will be inclusive of the Zerto licensing, compute requirements for the environment, target storage that's going to be based on the journal sizing, replication bandwidth, and a management option. So we offer both a self-managed option for customers who want to manage the recoveries internally, and a fully managed option where Tierpoint personnel will take care of the recovery for you, and your IT teams can focus on getting the production environment back up and running. And lastly, testing is going to be a key component of any successful disaster recovery program. Testing at least annually allows you to be sure that you're protected against a potential disaster. This allows you to make sure that the solution is meeting your RTO and the RTA. All of the DR solutions at Tierpoint include annual testing hours to ensure that your environment is properly protected. Our cloud-based recovery solutions powered by Zerto include 72 hours of annual testing, and additional testing can be added if it's required. After testing, you're going to receive an attestation of the test that can be provided to the auditors as proof of a successful test. We strive to partner with our customers to achieve their desired results of their disaster recovery programs. We take the time in the pre-sales process to understand the business needs of our customers and ensure that the solution is delivering upon those requirements. We're going to dig into the details of the environment to ensure that we're covering all aspects of the recovery, including employee access, how customers and partners are accessing the environment, and any security requirements that are often overlooked in disaster recovery solutions. All of these details are going to be incorporated into the overall design and included in the customer's disaster recovery runbook. As mentioned previously, we can also provide consulting services if companies require a business impact analysis, disaster recovery assessment, and business continuity and disaster recovery strategies. We even have options for business continuity DRCs within many of our data centers that provide a location for your employees to work during a disaster event. Our dedicated team of DR engineers are fully focused on ensuring your DRAS environment will be fully operational if a DR event should ever occur. They are monitoring the status of the replication of your environment and validating the status of your runbook, ensuring that the solution will work as planned. So here's a couple quotes from some of our current disaster recovery customers. As with all of our disaster recovery customers, they're seeing the benefits of using the Zerto-powered disaster recovery as a service solution that Tierpoint provides. Both of these customers were able to implement a DR solution that provides a very low recovery time and ensures that if they ever did have a disaster event, they can be back up and operating in a time frame that meets their business requirements. If you'd like to learn more about how Tierpoint disaster recovery as a service with Zerto and how we can help enhance your disaster recovery profile, you can visit us on the web at www.tierpoint.com. You'll be able to review our products and services, and we'll be able to chat with one of our solutions advisors online. You can also call us at 877-859-8437. When you reach out, one of our DR experts will reach out to you to discuss your company's business requirements for a disaster recovery solution. They'll discuss the different services we can provide and offer, share industry trends that they are seeing across Tierpoint, and they'll also work with you to set up next steps to ensure that we can help you achieve your goals. So from the Zerto team and myself, we'd like to thank you for joining us today. We hope you found this to be informative and hope everyone has a great day. Thanks.
Oh, well, we definitely did find that informative. So much cool information, lots of really great actionable takeaways, and we are definitely going to dig in a little bit more because there are a lot of questions coming in from our audience that I want to get to. But before we bring all of you back on to talk a little bit with our audience here, I do want to point out to all of you out there that we have, we'll call it a poll question, but think of it as like a shopping list. What information would you want from Tierpoint and Zerto to follow up on the conversation that we've had today? So this is just scratching the surface, and there is so much more to dig into. There's so much more to explore with these incredible solutions, and you are definitely going to want to have a follow-up conversation with them. So this is hitting the easy button. Click on the screen right now and let Zerto and Tierpoint know how they can follow up with you to make sure that you get the info that you need. While you are all doing that, Bob, Mike, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us. So excited to have you back here with us. You guys ready to jump into some questions?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's do it. All right, so I want to start with this one here because you guys were giving us a lot of really great best practices, and we got a few questions coming in around that. I think people, there's lots of ways to do things, but that question of what's the best, now I know that's a tough thing to define, but if you were to give us some best practices for determining that RTO and that RPO, where would you start with that?
So I'll start with it, then Anthony, Mike, you guys can jump in. The best way to really do that is to have your company go through a business impact analysis. And that can be done through a third party, or you can do it internally. But that's going to really go through and help you understand what are going to be the actual economic issues if you have downtime to any particular application, and let you understand which applications are more critical to your business and what the impact with either lost revenue, downtime to your employees, lost confidence in your brand will be. So I think going through a business impact analysis is really the best way to really understand what those RTOs and RPOs should be.
Yeah, absolutely. Piggybacking off of what Bob said, I think he said it nicely. Basically, is really around that TCO, right? What is this downtime costing my business? He mentioned a lot of good things there, like what are the full-time equivalent for managed backups, or a disaster recovery solution in the event that something goes down. If it's down for this long, well, how much money are we losing in terms of that? So as long as you have a very good tool that can show that at a very high level. I'll plug Zerto's TCO tool. You can go search that out there. Gives a very nice high-level approach to what the cost would be in the event of downtime.
Well, I think you've both, and throughout the presentation, we've gotten a lot of good reasons for this, but we did get a couple of questions coming in around why is using a service provider a benefit versus just figuring out your own disaster recovery plans on your own. Now, you gave us right at the end there, we were chatting a little bit about, and Bob, you were running through all the support that folks can expect to get prior to and then post in a disaster situation. To me, that seems like a huge benefit, but I'm wondering if you guys want to dig in a little bit more and answer that for the audience. Why not do this internally?
Yeah, so I mean, Zerto is a great tool and it's pretty simple to use. I think the benefit of actually using a service provider is when you have that disaster, most companies don't have a dedicated disaster recovery team. You're asking your teams that are doing the production environments to also come in during a disaster and try to focus on getting that DR solution back up and operating. And even though Zerto is very effective, you don't know where your team members are going to be. If your luck is anything like mine, it's going to happen middle of the night. You're going to be away. You're not going to have access. It's going to be very hard for you to do that. Using a service provider, you're always going to have a team of people that are going to be there ready as soon as you contact them that there's a disaster to implement that disaster recovery program, continuing to provide those updates, doing the testing for you. And these are all things that we utilize Tierpoint for the disaster recovery solution. We're going to go through, we're going to identify all those, create the run books, do that annual testing. And when a disaster does happen, we actually get the environment back up and running for you, letting your teams really focus on getting that production environment back up and operating.
Right. Yeah, I would definitely, again, just piggyback off that. I mean, Tierpoint was 4 years in a row Zerto's managed service provider. It goes just beyond disaster recovery. They have a lot of great security services as well. So being easily integrated into those and how well they use those in order to give you a full data protection strategy and get you back online quick using Zerto is what we love. So yeah, great answer, Bob.
Well, and we did get chiming in from the audience here saying, hey, look, we've got a lot of organizations out here that are small and don't have disaster recovery teams. So it may not be an option to do that in-house and offering that. We did get some questions sort of digging in a little bit to the ongoing opportunities. So, I think a lot of times people feel like they're going to implement a solution and then they're just sort of on their own from there. And it sounds like there's a little bit more opportunity for to be in touch with Zerto, with Tierpoint after implementation. Could you address that as well?
Yeah. So from the Tierpoint side, once you sign a contract with Tierpoint for disaster recovery, you're going to be in touch with a implementation manager, and then you'll have an ongoing account manager that's going to be in touch with you. So they're going to go through the entire process of getting that environment up and operating for you. They're going to be touching base with you constantly about your testing, ensuring that everything is working. We provide portals, so anytime there's any updates to your environment, it's a constant conversation. That's really what has to happen, because customers' environments are ever changing. So this isn't ever really a set it and forget it. We need to ensure that anytime your business requirements are changing, different applications are moving in or out, we have to be able to update that to make sure that that environment is working with you. And I know Zerto works directly with the customers as well to ensure that, they're aware of all of the new softwares that are coming out. So Anthony, I don't know if you want to add anything.
No, I think that was pretty good overall, right? Zerto is always updating itself, right? With the Zerto 10 release, we saw the encryption detection. Again, it's a disaster recovery tool, but something that you can use as part of a larger defense in-depth strategy. And why you want to work with a Tierpoint, because they do it super, super well, right? They can add that layer of recoverability that Zerto does so well to a plethora of other services that kind of gives, like you said, that second team for your IT team when it comes to the worst case scenario. So.
Perfect. All right, last few questions here, because we're running a little close to the end of time here. When VMs are getting restored, are they all going to different points in time?
No. So absolutely not. That's the whole application-centric approach that Mike talked about very early on. It was early on in the presentation itself, right? We protect each virtual machine as if it were grouped together, and when they recover, they all recover up to back to that same exact point in time. There's no staggered approach.
Perfect. And we did get some questions about hardware. Now, obviously, we're talking about DRES, so that isn't something that would be required for anyone.
Not at all. Software only solution, and Tierpoint, I'm sure, loves managing that other side too. So
Exactly.
I love when it's nice and easy. Okay, we're gonna have to leave it pretty quick here. I did get a question that I love when this comes up, because I think there's a lot of choices out there and a lot of conversations, research that folks are having. And so Stephen is wondering if you could tell us, what do you think your sort of key unique, if there was one takeaway that you wanted everyone out there to know about Tierpoint and Zerto, what would that be?
I think the key takeaway for me is just the integration that we do with Zerto. We work with Zerto, as Anthony stated. We've been their managed services partner of the year for 4 years running. We're deeply integrated with their teams. We're in constant communication with them. So we're constantly working with Zerto to ensure that the solutions we're providing, can meet all the customers' requirements.
Yeah, and then just, I think from the Zerto side, real quick, I think it's simple. I think it's if you're looking to keep your business going regardless of a disruption, and you don't want to have to face potentially hours or days of downtime and data loss, and you really need to be up and running within minutes and with only seconds of data loss for at least your core applications at a minimum, then I think Zerto is the answer for you.
Perfect. All right. Well, great answers all around. I want to thank all of you for being here with us to kick off our MegaCast. You definitely started us out on a great note, and I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, everybody.